Thank you very much indeed, Secretary General UNECE. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here and together with you discuss this fascinating topic. I think actually, one of these days actually, I tried to find the exact time, but I couldn't. 30 years ago, I got my first computer, Amstrad Sir Charlie. It didn't have a hard disk, it only had the floppy disk, you know, it was making a lot of noise. But it was very useful for me. Later I got the hard disk, and then in 1995 when I came to the World Bank and worked in Washington, I got a computer that was connected. It was connected to the internet, Mosaic, right? This browser, many of you will remember it, and I got email. I couldn't really use it because I only knew one person in Denmark that had email as well. So, but we emailed a few times and then we kind of gave up a little bit because we couldn't. So I knew one single person in Denmark that had email as well. That was 20 years ago. And I tell this story just to illustrate the technological development that we all know has taken place. It's absolutely astonishing and incredibly fascinating what has happened the past 3 decades. It has influenced our lives, it has influenced our behavior. We have seen now the full introduction of connected devices, first computer networks, smartphones keeping us connected. We can even see each other. I remember when I was a kid in school also, we had this innovation project. We should say, what was the wildest idea we could think of? And I remember my wildest idea was exactly this, with telephones without a cord where you could see each other. And we all laughed and said, oh, never gonna happen, it can't be done. And today I talked with my wife half an hour every evening while I can see her in the eyes, and it's just like we were together. And I'm sure, you know, a few years from now when we'll have this seminar, I'll be here, but not in person. I'll be here as a hologram, and you won't even be able to notice it. My wife will hopefully notice, but the technological development is just fascinating. But the connectivity is what really brings benefits to the technology that we have. And there's no sign of this slowing down, and it's really changing our behavior every single day. And connectivity in vehicles is, of course, just as logical a consequence of this development. And it's the connectivity in vehicles that will really bring the benefits of modern technology to the transport sector. Just like the Amstrad 30 years ago, very useful, but when it came connected, it became enormously powerful. This will take time. There's 1 billion cars running on the roads today. Many of you know better than I, but only 20-25 million of them are connected in some way or the other, and it is traffic messaging channels or e-calls that's the main connectivity out there right now. So there's a long way to go. If you stand down here on the highway, you count 40 cars coming by, only one of them will probably be connected in one way or the other. And if you in the US, studies have shown, even if you in the US really made it mandatory to make connectivity for cars, the projection is that 8-10 years from now, only 1 out of 2 cars would be connected. So there's a long way to go, and there's a long transition now where on the roads we will have connected cars and non-connected cars going along side by side for a long time. And that is one of the challenges that we have to tackle. And that's why we really need to look into both benefits and risks of all this new technology and the various stages. There will be vehicle-to-vehicle communication, there will be vehicle-to-infrastructure, and there will be vehicle to other things in for instance, vulnerable road users. All these types of connectivity will come together, and we need to analyze it closely, and we need to understand what benefits there will be and what risks we will have. Especially because, as said, for a long term, we'll have connected cars and non-connected cars and other vehicles on the road at the same time. But there are enormous benefits to be taken out of it. We can get a lot of information in a car that our brain and our body cannot collect as fast as the technology can. We will be able to understand the surroundings, the vehicles around us much better. We will be able to drive safer. We will be able to avoid accidents. car accidents is one of the biggest killer in the world, on line with HIV/AIDS or malaria. 1.25 million people are killed every year, and 10 or 20 times as many are injured on roads. Hundreds of thousands of kids every year are killed because they try to get to school and back again. And the connected cars can help us to solve some of these very tragic problems of the transport sector. This is what you will explore here today. And other options, how cars can become closer, more efficient, we can save CO2, we can tackle climate change. The connected car and the autonomous cars can bring a lot of benefits. But we also need to deal with the very difficult questions, and I know you will do so along the way. As the Secretary General already said it, a connected car and a more autonomous car will make the driver being even less attentive at the moments where he or she perhaps should be attentive, because you trust the car and then you just speak on your phone and do the computer or whatever. So there can be also problems of road safety with connectivity. There will be a number of issues, cyber security, ITU being a strong knowledge platform on some of these issues, because we need to make sure that cars are not taken over by terrorists or attacks that will suddenly allow them to create big-scale problems in our transport system and attack the transport system and the vulnerable parts of it. I have the most modern computer here today, and still it breaks down once in a while. Every second day, you know, I have a problem and the connectivity, and I have to reboot it and whatever. And rebooting a car while you are moving at 200 kilometers an hour, perhaps on a German highway, is not going to be an easy task. So we need to be really aware of all these problems. And that's why here we need regulation of the new technology. And we need to make sure that the new technology allows us to operate together, but also allows us to operate reliably and safe. So here we are at the Motorshow in Geneva. You all came here to see the cars, but I also hope that you will come back to Geneva to make the necessary regulation and the legal framework that can allow these cars to really operate. So come back to Geneva again with this purpose, and I know many of you will, because here you have ITU and the standardization body working on issues of telecommunications, and you have with UNECE not only 58 transport connections, many of which needs to be updated. The UNECE were hosting the UN Transport Conventions for historical reasons. There are 58 of them, not all to do with vehicles and cars, but many of them have. And there are complex issues here that we need to deal with in the conventions on driver behavior, infrastructure, traffic rules, liability issues, complex issues that need to be solved to really bring benefits of this new technology. And then we host, as it was mentioned already by the Secretary General, the World Forum for Harmonization of Vehicle Regulations, the only worldwide body doing vehicle regulations with participants from all over the world. And they are already now addressing a number of these issues on automated and future autonomous driving cars. And these regulations are made with the best experts in the world coming together here in Geneva and finding the best solutions. And it's very necessary. I know many countries are now tempted. They want to be first runners. They want to be the first countries to get the autonomous vehicles on the road and thereby get their industry to gain a competitive advantage. But I would warn against it. Do not develop piecemeal approaches to regulation around in the world in order to promote it. Come together in Geneva and let's do it together. Because only then can we really reap the benefits of connectivity for all cars and for all drivers and for all citizens around in the world. So come back next week. The World Forum for Vehicle Regulations will meet. There are a lot of issues there. They are looking at the road safety and they are looking on automation of the cars already. Next week there's another opportunity to come together and make sure that we have the legal and the infrastructure framework to promote the fascinating new cars, connected cars, automated cars. It's a fascinating world out there, but please make sure that we work together to make it happen and inspire us at this symposium. Come up with your best ideas and your most difficult questions, and then let's work together to solve them. I wish you all a very good symposium. Thank you very much for coming.